Hi, my name is Miss Toy to Review. Welcome to my channel. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome. And if you are an old subscriber, welcome back. I'm glad to have you both. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I got some really good content, especially about GLP-1 and other things that I do as well. So hopefully you'll stick around. So today I want to talk a little bit about insurance. But before I do that, I want to just give you a little recap. I have been on a GLP-1 for over a year and a half. I've lost over 90-something pounds with the help of Zepbound. And I decided to share my journey on YouTube and just give some tips and just share what I've learned over the year and a half of being on this medication. So today I want to talk about insurance. I know that there are people that are not covered by their insurance, and there are people that are still covered by their insurance. And so I just want to give you some tips just to stay a step ahead, just in case you ever lose that coverage and that you are prepared. Because, you can get a new job. They could take it off the formulary of your current job and don't offer it anymore. So I just want to get you a little prepared, so just in case that happened. So for me, when I started back in December 2023, I was covered by my insurance and I had the savings card. So I went to Eli Lilly website, download the savings card, and my copay went from $40 to $25. And so I knew that that was a blessing, because I knew that a lot of people were not covered by insurance and they were paying out of pocket. Some people with the savings card at that time was paying $550. If they were not covered at all through their insurance, Medicare or Medicaid, they were paying the full asking price, which was over $1,000. So that's why a lot of people went to Compound, because it was much cheaper and affordable. So anyway, I was getting that price every single month. And then I think it was the end of May, beginning of June, a letter came out that went viral that somebody got from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. And it was stating that they were going to change the criteria of getting the GLP-1 weight loss medication. And so the criteria was very stiff, and it did not matter if you already had a prior authorization. It was going to be void July 31st of 2024, and you had to now meet this new criteria in order to be covered. So people were in an uproar because it was just ridiculous, the things that they were asking for you to do. So anyway, that affected me, because I was on Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, and I was covered under that plan. And so then I started making sure I was crossing all my T's, dotting all my I's to make sure that I met these criterias. I was still really early in my journey, so my BMI was still high at the time. So anywho, then before I even could get the chance to be able to meet the criteria, my current job took it off their formulary. They said, we've heard about these GLP-1 weight loss, and we heard they could be costly, so we're taking them off. And so they didn't even offer them anymore. Well, I was already in the process of leaving that job. So my new job, I was like, okay, let's see if they offer it. And they did. And they were offering it through the same insurance, which was the Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so I had all my information. I made sure I met all the criteria, but it only would last for 3 months, because January the 1st, 2025, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan took it off completely, where they did not offer it at all. It did not matter if you met the criteria or not. Now, there are some Blue Cross Blue Shield that are, self-funded plans that may offer the GLP-1 weight loss. So if you're on Blue Cross Blue Shield, you may get it. But I know the commercial insurances, they cut those off, which I am on a commercial insurance. So anyway, going back to my story. So because of that, there were some things that I did to prepare myself, because I knew I was about to lose coverage. So one of the things I did during the shortage, it started off because of the shortage. I started taking my medication every 2 weeks. So that means one box for me would last 2 months. And so that helped me to collect boxes, and that I was able to have a few extra boxes after I was kicked off of insurance, okay? So that was helpful. Now, what I would suggest for somebody, now I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not in the medical field. These are just suggestions of things that you could do. So you could consider, if you are on a dose that you like, just taking 1 month and extending that shot. It doesn't have to be every 2 weeks. You can extend 1 box every 10 days just so that you could get a couple of extra pens. Now, this is if you have the, the pens, because I don't know what you could do with the vials. This is if you have the pens, okay? Because they last for a year. It take a year before they expire. So you can see the expiration date on the box. So that's something you could do just to have an extra box, okay? Another thing that you can do is make sure you are renewing your prescription as quickly as you can. So everyone is different. So for me, I was able to renew my prescription every 21 days. Do not wait till you get to your last injection, your last pen, to go and get a new box. No, if you can renew it every 21 days, 23 days, call and find out. And then whenever it's time for you to renew it, go and get your new prescription. Do not wait. And that way you'll end up getting a couple of extra pens that'll add up, and you don't even have to do the extended. So then that way you'll always have some. So if anything happened, you got a little bit in the refrigerator already ready to go if you lose coverage, okay? Let me think of something else. You want to talk to your primary. So say you're going through a telehealth company. Make sure your primary doctor know that you're on this medication, because you want that noted in your chart. Because when they changed, when Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan changed their criteria for me, one of them was they wanted to hear from my primary doctor. They did not want to hear from a teledoctor. So you want to make sure your primary doctor is on the same page and know what's going on with you. That's very important that this information is put in your chart. Also, they wanted to know about exercise routine. If you have an Apple Watch and you are working out, make sure you are recording these workouts, because if I hit the thing, every time I work out, I put it on my watch. And that way, I was able, when it was time, I was able to print out a log of all the exercises that I did. So if you're just doing videos on YouTube or whatever, you're not actually at a gym, that's okay. Because if you have an Apple Watch, you can record that on your Apple Watch, and that's proof that you are working out, because your insurance might change stuff up on you, and they might want to know, what are you doing to work out? And now you have proof, okay? Also, a food plan diary. They wanted to know, what was I eating? I was like, it was, oh my goodness. You should have seen all the stuff they made me give them. So for me, I was using Weight Watchers. I'm still using Weight Watchers. So because of that, I had all my information on the app. Some of you all are using different apps where you plug in your food. That's good, because those are things that you can use as proof that you've been living a healthy lifestyle, and you have proof of it. Now, I'm hoping none of this happens to you, but it's very good for you to have this information just in case your insurance plan changed the criteria, and you could be able to keep your coverage, all right? So another thing I would say is setting money aside. So you never know if your insurance is going to change. So because of that, set some money aside so that you can buy a box if you need to, until you figure out what you want to do, okay? So it's very good to know, let me put a couple of dollars aside, and if you never have to use it, take that money and do whatever you want with it. But this is just you preparing for just in case you lose coverage, okay? And then also, Eli Lilly, they have the vials, and the vials are a little cheaper than the auto injectors. The auto injectors, for the people that have been grandfathered in, like me, you could pay $5.50 for all the doses, from 2.5 to 15, which is still expensive. Now, for the vials, those are, I think, I should have looked this up. I think the 2.5 is 3 something. I'm not going to say the exact price. It's 3 something. And then all the other ones are like $4.99 for all the other dosage. And so, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong about that. So that's a little cheaper. All right. So if you need to go that route, you have that option to do the vials instead of doing the auto injector. And also for Wegovy, I think all their prices is $4.99 across the board from 2.5 all the way. Well, I don't know if they start at 2.5, but whatever the dosage is for Wegovy, I think it's a straight across the board $4.99. If I'm not correct, you all can put that in the comments because I did not look that up. I should have looked it up. But anyway, there are options. And if those are too expensive, even though they're really cracking down on the compound pharmacies and stuff, there are still some available. So you can go and check them out online and go through one of those services if those prices are too high for you as well. Okay? So I just wanted to let you all know there are options out there. And even though you are covered through your insurance, always know that you can lose coverage at any time, and you need to be prepared for that. And also make sure you are following people in this GLP-1 community that talk about the news, because you want to stay ahead of the game and know what things are changing, because that's how I found out about Blue Cross Blue Shield. Otherwise, I would have had no idea. So make sure you're following other creators on here, because some of the creators give you the news and tell you, like On the Pen with Dave and different people like that. You can find out and stay in the loop so you can know what is going on, and be a part of a Facebook group. They shutting down a lot of the Facebook groups, but the ones that's still available, make sure you join them just so you can know what is going on. So good luck to everybody. If you are covered by your insurance, I hope that continues for you, because I know how it feels to pay out of pocket, okay? Because my stash is gone. So the ones that I have, I did pay out of pocket. So I can relate to both sides, okay? So hopefully this video was helpful to you and gave you some tips and some things to think about. And if it did, press like and subscribe. I'll see you for more. Bye.